Let's talk ChatGPT. Today I'm going to try to have it do some bookkeeper tasks that you can use also to help your clients. And we'll also see if it is a better bookkeeper than me. All right, so I have this structured as 3 wins, 3 things that did really well, and then 3 fails. So let's start with my very favorite one, and that was I asked it to analyze a profit and loss. So I actually used my own business, my FinePoints YouTube channel / bookkeeping business, and I uploaded the profit and loss into ChatGPT, and I asked it to give me some ideas for how I can make more money in my business. Okay, again, so here's the prompt: make more money, cut spending, and be more efficient. So I thought it gave me a pretty good answer. So here was its recommendations: increasing revenue, expand courses. This is literally something that I have talked about doing for my YouTube business. So introduce additional modules or advanced packages. That is a great suggestion. Diversify affiliate income. I also like this one. So different partnerships that are helpful to my audience. That's a great suggestion. And then upsell services. Again, a great suggestion. So add on services to current bookkeeping clients. I like that a lot. All right, and then number 2, cutting spending. These were slightly less helpful, but still very logical and like a good starting point, I'd say. So payroll, assess responsibilities, make sure that that your payroll is necessary. That's a good suggestion. I feel like mine it's pretty minimal at this point, but I think that's an okay suggestion. And then explore automation or outsourcing. I like that too. Like, what can we automate more so to reduce costs? All right, and then software. So review subscriptions, make sure you're not being redundant. Yes, that is a good suggestion. I don't think I'm very redundant. And then consolidate tools when possible. I think I kind of already have done this. And then ask my accountant. That was actually a good thing it caught, because the ask my accountant, I had one large thing in there that I was literally asking my accountant about. So it's like, why did you have that big expense in there? So that's legit. That's a good catch by ChatGPT. All right, and then efficiency. Some of these are kind of repeats, but high impact contractors, and then tighter controls on like spending categories. That's kind of a good idea. And then tighten up your tax strategy a little bit. All in all, I am happy with this. I think that this would definitely give me ideas of, and then maybe 1 or 2 of these really resonate and I can, go from there. All right, that was pretty good, right? So number 2 that I tried to ask it was a tax question. So you can try asking it different types of questions, things that you already know, things that you're kind of shaky on, or things that you have no idea. And so I asked it about which meals are tax deductible, and it gave me a pretty good and thorough answer. All right, next one is which meals are deductible for my small business. You could obviously ask this any tax related question that you are coming across as a bookkeeper. If you can't remember, so this is for this example, I'm like, okay, I can't remember what's deductible. And it gave you a really good, outline. And you could probably Google the same information, but I think this is just an easy way to grab it as well. They're probably reading the IRS website, I would assume. Okay, so then it talks about deductible meals, business, you have to be with clients, travel, employee events. I wish it would break down the 100% and the 50% a little more. Like these business meals would be 50%, I think, for the most part. Yeah, if you're just going out with a client. So things like that. And I could refine my search to tell it to break it down more like that. But I thought this was great. It's really easy to understand, easy to read. Office meals, conferences, and then it says what's not deductible. So personal meals, lavish ones, and entertainment. So I think this has actually changed since I've been a bookkeeper. And then it gave documentation tips, which don't actually really help me, but save receipts, note who was at the meal, and use a business credit card. Actually, those are all good advice. Number 3 idea I have is to create a bookkeeper workflow. And what I did for this is actually more of like a weekly schedule. I think a workflow actually would be helpful too. Like maybe when you're onboarding clients, you have like 10 tasks. ChatGPT can probably help you organize and create an official workflow or standard operating procedure for onboarding a client, for example. And this was actually what inspired me to do this video. Is I saw another YouTuber and she had ChatGPT make her a schedule for her busy week. And I'm like, that's interesting. Just different ways that you can use it. And side note, she was also the one who made me realize you can upload a document and you can pull data out of that document. And so how we've been using it is my kids do this book trivia contest. And so there's a ton of information. And so we'll have it pull out a character list, for example. And then it'll give you a pretty robust list that's like 90% of the information that I wanted on a character list. And then we can just use our own human brains to add to it as needed. good. And then on this video, I don't even touch on how you can use ChatGPT to write things for you. I actually have a different video you can check out that talks about that. So you can use it to write your website copy. You can use it to craft an email to a client. Like if you have to say something difficult and you don't know how to say it, you can ask ChatGPT to do that. I feel like those uses are a little bit more basic, so watch the other video if you're interested in that stuff. Okay, but now let's check out the schedule that it made me for the week. All right, so here's the prompt I gave it. This was a little bit scattered and I could definitely do this more precisely, but I said create a plan for me as a bookkeeper and then the days I work Monday through Thursday from 9 to 12. And then I just listed a whole bunch of tasks that I need to do. So send out a contract, reconcile, categorize, profit and loss, and analyze and pull reports. Okay, so that's pretty much typical bookkeeper stuff. So I like, again, this is very easy to understand, easy to read. So they just did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a breakdown for each chunk. And so again, I could go in and refine this more as I want to, or I could tell it how long each of these tasks take, because reconciling bank accounts for client one probably wouldn't take me an hour and a half. But just to show you generally, if this is helpful, you can have ChatGPT make you a schedule like this. So I'm gonna start doing that more and more, I believe. Okay, now we will move on to the 3 bookkeeper tasks that I would consider a fail. Like it did not do it correctly, or me as a person didn't give it the right prompts. So let me know in the comments if you are better at ChatGPT and you have advice for this, because I'm definitely a beginner. I'm trying to like figure out how to use it, to the best of my ability. So the first one was kind of like maybe a long shot a little bit. I kind of had it like be a bookkeeper. So what I did was I was like, I wonder how much I spend personally on certain things throughout the year. So all of 2024. So I logged into my personal bank and I there's a button where you can download all the transactions into Excel. So I just did from January 2024 to December 2024, and I downloaded every single thing I did. And then I wanted ChatGPT to say like, oh, you spent like $1,000 on Amazon. You spent, $500 at Target for the year. Those might be a little bit more, but I don't really know. Maybe I don't want to know. You spent this much in utilities for your house. So that's what I was wanting it to do. And we used to budget with Every Dollar, I think it was called. It did that. And so I had that data. Some banks will do it for you. But anyways, I was just going to try to test ChatGPT, and I thought it would actually be helpful for me to know also. And so pretty much I would say that was a fail, and I would prefer using QuickBooks for this task. So let's see how it did. All right, so what I did for this is I downloaded a year of expenses, and then I'm actually looking at this, and I probably should have worded this differently. This just says make a list of everything I spent organized by vendor. What I really wanted was the totals for each vendor. So maybe I can retry this and see if that gives me a better result. But basically, it gave me a number and then a very small amount. So this does say total spent, but this is not the amount that I spent at Goodwill. And this is Amazon. I definitely spent more than $27 at Amazon last year. And I don't even know what this maybe is. There was 4 of these transactions, but it is not totally clear. It doesn't have a heading or anything. So I'm not loving this. Again, maybe I could refine it a little bit more and get it to be what I want. But at this point, I am definitely rooting for the bookkeeping software that is specifically for, this purpose of creating a profit and loss. And then, it has AI integrated within that. So instead of using ChatGPT, I would obviously prefer QuickBooks. All right, number 2 fail was I asked it to make a budget. And the reason I wanted to do this is because I really don't like making budgets in QuickBooks. Comment down below if you find it kind of tedious. I just find the whole budgeting section is kind of clunky and not very intuitive. It will feed in data from the year before, but I don't know, a lot of it's manual and then you have to do it month by month, or sometimes I'll just take one column for the year. Anyway, I don't love budgeting, and I only do it if a client forces me to. What I do find really helpful is you can pull a report in QuickBooks that is budget versus actual, so you can see, how much of your budget you're spending, which is the point of budgeting, right? So for this one, I just uploaded a profit and loss into ChatGPT, and then I asked it to make a budget from there. And again, it could be partially user error, but let's see how it did. Okay, so for this one, I gave it my profit and loss, and I made it into a PDF. I feel like for some reason ChatGPT does better with PDFs. I think Excel sometimes, I don't know why, it is reading different information. I don't know, something about a PDF I just prefer for this situation. All right, and I just said create a simple budget for 2025 using this data. That's not much for it to go on, and I really did not like how it did it. So like, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but meals and entertainment, $19.98. I don't know why. Maybe that's what I spent previously, and office supplies $39.58. I mean, both those seem pretty low in general for a business that is operating for the whole year. And then I did refine it. I changed the net income, and then I said round it because I didn't need all the percentages. So I said round it. I should have said round it to the nearest like 10 or something. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you think that this would be helpful eventually if you kept refining it, but I don't think it's really being as discerning as I would want. And I mean, of course it can't read my mind, right? But I have things in my head that I'm like, oh, I'm going to spend more on this or less on this year. And I think it would be easier just to go into QuickBooks and create a budget that way. All right, and the number 3 fail for ChatGPT was making visuals. I have never had very much luck with having it make any kind of visuals. So I think that there is another section that you can do with visuals. So maybe I'll try that also. But basically ChatGPT, if you ask it, how can you help out a bookkeeper? One thing it says is creating visuals of financial trends. So let's go back to my computer and see the chaos that happens when you ask it to create visuals. All right, so the first one actually went okay. So I had the spreadsheet of my personal information from my bank like I used in the last one. And then I said, create a graph from this data. And then it was actually helpful because it was like, what type of graph do you want? Do you want a bar chart with income and expenses? So I chose a pie chart showing spending distribution across categories. That's kind of what I was going for with the other questions I was asking in it. So I answered it that, and then it took a really long time thinking, and it kind of told me what it was doing each time. So he's like, I'll categorize the transactions based on these categories. And then they're like, it's a PDF, so I'm getting out the data. And then it said there was an issue with the data extraction. And it's all just kind of doing this automatically. I don't know. Then it said it looks like no transactions were extracted, but then it actually did give me something. So I'm not sure exactly what the deal is. And let me correct this and generate the graph. All right. And then it did give me this nicely beautiful colored pie chart. And I didn't go back and check how accurate this is exactly, like what goes into health and beauty, like how do they decide that's health and beauty? Same with entertainment. This probably is wrong. I feel like we would have spent more on entertainment. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is a reasonable pie chart, and you could probably, with further instruction, get it to be exactly what you want. All right, so not too bad. And then I did it again with my business profit and loss. And this was an Excel document. And like I said before, it doesn't seem to like Excel documents. I'm not sure if it's, sometimes when you open an Excel document, you have to click the button to edit it. I'm not sure if that's the problem. Let me know in the comments if you know why it can't read any of this information. But it says $0 for bookkeeping clients, for YouTube AdSense, for online courses, online affiliate income. I don't know, none of these had data. And then the prompt I gave it was make an income versus expense, a bar chart comparing deposits versus withdrawals, which was copied from the options it gave me earlier. All right, and then they made a graph, which you can kind of see it was trying to do, and then there's just no data on there. So again, let me know if you know what's going on with that. And as a side note, can I show you some other images it created for me today? So I was trying to make an image for my book club for a Goodreads profile, and it was kind of successful. These are supposedly they're popular books. I told it to do popular fiction books that are available on Libby. So this one is a little reading nook, and it says Libby, which is an app, and highly rated. I don't know. That was funny. It's always funny how it's not exact. The stars are 6 stars. And then I was put a little oak tree in it, and I don't know. It was kind of cute. I thought these were funny. Thank you for staying till the end of this video. If you made it this far, definitely subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up. My name is Morgan, if you don't know, and my website is FinePoints.biz. And I love helping you guys as bookkeepers run your businesses and grow them. All right, I will talk to you next week with another video. Take care.